Good afternoon. My name is Karen Reimers, and I'm the president of the Rotary eClub of Florida. And today is my great pleasure to welcome our speaker, Gloria Esteban, who is a fellow member of the Rotary eClub of Florida, and in fact, our immediate past president. And she will be speaking to us today about financial makeovers after the pandemic. And just a little background about Gloria. She studied accounting and later obtained an executive MBA. And she took early retirement from AT&T and is currently working as a mortgage loan officer and running a home-based business specializing in financial makeovers. And her talk today will be about financial makeovers after the pandemic, how to dig out from financial damage caused by the pandemic. So without further ado, I'd like to give the floor to Gloria. Thank you for speaking to us today.
Thank you, Madam President and Madam Founder and fellow members of Rotary. So let me ask y'all the question, how y'all doing today? How are you doing spiritually, emotionally, physically, and finally, financially? Okay, the pandemic has really taken a toll on us, hasn't it? Wouldn't you all agree on that?
Yes.
How many of you are living paycheck to paycheck? How many of you are behind on your bills? So today I'm going to speak on the financial aspect and share with you a solution that is currently available. So now is a time for a fresh start with a financial makeover. You've played those games for a do-over. Well, now's the perfect time for do-over. But let me ask you, have you asked yourself, what are your financial goals? How much will it take for you to retire or start that business you've always talked about? And what is your current financial situation? As a mortgage loan officer, sorry, I just lost my place. As a mortgage loan officer, I hear a lot of stories about folks wanting to correct and improve their credit score. And a lot of those folks, they sign up with these really expensive credit repair companies, and they get little or no feedback on them. And so they come back to me a year later and their score might have went up 5 points or 10 points. So, and I tell you that just to say, take caution, make sure that you have good communication both ways and that you set up some expectations and set up communication with each other. There's some companies that they never hear from them, but they, take money out of their account. And then when they come back to me and they're ready and they're like, okay, you can pull my score now. Sometimes it's changed, sometimes it hasn't. I also wanted to share with you all that if you would like a copy of your credit report, you can go to annualcreditreport.com and you can get it free 1 time per year. Okay, all 3 credit agencies will provide you that information. So that's annualcreditreport.com. And you can get that free at any time. So in the mortgage business, our company Nations Lending, we have a tool that's called a what if scenario. So let's say, for example, we have a borrower that comes in and maybe he has a 580 score and we'd like for him to get a 620 because he wants to apply for some financial assistance. Isn't that interesting that financial assistance, state or local or county, a lot of them want you to have a good credit score, not an excellent 800, 850, but a good 640, 620. So let's say this person comes in, he has a 580 score. So we pull his credit, and in the mortgage industry, we always take the middle score. So if you have, whatever the scores are for the 3, we take the middle one. And if it's a couple, then we take the middle of the spouse and the middle of the other spouse. We look at the 2 and then we take the lower. We always take the conservative approach. So let's say they have a 580 and they want to get to a 620. So we run our what if scenario, and the what if scenario will tell us what actions they need to take to bring up their score. Because you have to not believe in a lot of myths that are out there. Don't pay off any of your credit cards unless you've spoken to an expert that knows what to do and how any action you take will impact your credit score. I've had people, actually, I just had one person, he paid off his car insurance. Now that helps his debt to income ratio, but you know what? It just barely had any positive impact on his credit score. And it was a $25,000 loan. So he could have saved that $25,000, maybe paid on a couple other expenses. And we try to tell them that, but you know, a lot of times some folks, you know, they hear advice from whoever and they take action that way. But on the what if scenario, going back to that, we run that program and it'll say, okay, pay $50 on this one. It could be as little as paying on one account or paying off one, or it'll tell you what action to take. And then what we do is they send us proof that they took that action. We send it to the credit bureau, and within 5 days, 5 to 7 days, working days, it's updated. You don't have to wait months to see, you know, oh, let's wait till it cycles again. Let's wait till it cycles again. So that's a good tool if you're, you know, looking to purchase a home. Now, the only thing about that is you have to have the funds, right? So if they say pay $200 on this, pay $300 on this, you know, if you have the funds, it's good. But if you don't, you know, you have to look for alternative methods of raising up your credit score, which one of them is to go to a good credit repair company. So with the MWR Financial home-based business that I'm involved with, okay, one of the benefits is called credit restoration, credit strategies with credit experts, okay? So when you look at your credit score, the whole picture, it's not just the score, that number. It's credit reports and scores. It's credit restoration, credit rebuilding, or maybe you need credit counseling. All of those are available with, it's one of the benefits with the home-based business. Okay, so here's my story. So I started a home-based business last October, and I had gotten behind on my mortgage a couple times. So I knew it wasn't going to be great. I pulled it and I thought, it's what I expected. So then on May the 2nd, I pulled it again, followed their instructions, and my credit went up, and I was paying every month on time, like we should. My credit score went up 76 points because of that. Okay. And the other thing was I had my mortgage and then I had a car payment. And so both of those were like perfect for like a whole year. So of course that helps. That takes a while, you know, but it takes a lot of discipline. So you can imagine what went through my mind. I was relieved. I thought, oh, good. You know, and I'm still working because I want to be in that 800 club, which some of you probably are already there. But for Mr. and Mrs. Average, not too many people are there. So you can imagine, like I said, what was going through my head. I was thinking, wow, you know, this will help me pay a lower insurance premium or a lower auto or mortgage interest rate. And the same thing with your credit card rates. When you have a low credit score, it causes your interest rates to soar. You know, I've seen some, I've gotten, you know, the little packages, I'm sure you all have. Here, you know, you can have this credit card. So I'll look at the interest, you know, it's anywhere from 10% all the way to 25 and 35%. They can get away with that.
Gloria?
Yes.
It's not surprising, though, when I just went to Sam's and went and got a credit card at Sam's with their logo on it. And I have a very above average credit score because I'm OCD. I pay the day something's due. And
good for you.
They say, oh, sign up. It's going to be great. You've got a perfect score. We're going to give you the best interest rate. When it arrived, it was 49%.
49?
49 when it arrived.
Oh,
I canceled it.
Outrageous.
I canceled it. Yes. So you would not be surprised when they taunt you into these things that no matter how good your credit score is, that sometimes it's because you've got a good credit score that they want you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Sorry about that. So I'm glad you brought that up, because it pays to read, no matter what your score is or how long you've been on your job, to read the fine detail. And that shocks me. I'm gonna have to use that in one of my stories now.
They didn't
Wow.
have it. They didn't have it at the store what it was.
Oh, until you got
received
it. Oh, wow. Okay. You know what? And you're right, because when I've applied before, you don't get all that detail. You don't get that till later. And there should be a law against that, because I know a lot of college kids have debt. They don't know. They just sign, oh yeah, I'll take that hat, or I'll take that whatever, that has the school emblem on it. And then later on, when they get married and they apply for a loan, they're like, oh, I forgot about that loan. So thanks for sharing that. Your credit score is also used for some nonprofits as a background check, and also to apply for professional licenses. Like, for example, I'm licensed in 4 states, and they do look at your credit. They look, they don't want anything fishy going on. No liens, no lates. They don't like that, because we need to walk the talk. I had a friend of mine that she applied for a job in downtown with a federal, I forget what it was, a federal agency, and it was between her and another applicant, and she got the job because the other applicant, he had low credit score, collections, lates, I think he even had a lien. So she got the job because of that. They're both even on, even. So you probably have heard that quite a bit.
I remember when I accepted checks back in the 70s and 80s, I wondered what a star meant on a check beside the name. And it meant the person worked for a bank or a financial institute. And if that check came across as NSF, the person lost their job.
Whoa, I didn't know that. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's right. And you know what? That's something else that mortgage lenders look at too. They look at how many overdrafts you've had, on your account. So especially with technology, I mean, they can just create a program that can pull really almost anything that's collected. So wow. Okay, so now think about it. So one way to increase your credit score, okay, you have a savings and you're able to pay off. But another way is to increase your income. And if you have a home-based business, okay, and you're W-2, then you can qualify for something called instant pay raise. And what that means is that you update your W-4, you send it to your employer, and that you're going to get more money back on your check. Okay. Now it's not, I know a lot of folks think it's the IRS's money, but it's your money. Okay. Because you put that money in, and they estimate, and I think the average is like 33% they take out, unless you file a different exemption. They're going to take that money and they hold it until you file your taxes, and then you'll get the refund. But really, it's a refund, but it's a refund on your money. It's your money. And when you have a home-based business, there's so much that you can write off. You can, and I learned this, I'm learning this too. I don't have any young children, but if you had young children, I mean, you could pay them maybe to set the table, if you're going to have guests come over, they can just do little chores and you can actually pay them. Okay. And then you can write that off. And there is a IRS publication 587, business use of your home, over 400 deductions that you could take with a home-based business. With the program that I'm involved with now, there's also a debt elimination strategy, a tax reduction strategy, and there's also a wealth max strategy that you can take advantage of. So let me just be frank with you all, okay? My husband and I, we are no spring chickens, all right? And yes, we had 401ks, but the way the market's been going, thankfully it's helping. But this home-based business is helping us a lot more with us reaching our financial goals, because we want to leave a legacy for our grandchildren. That's our goal. So anyway, if anybody has any other questions that they would like to ask or share some scenarios. I was going to add one other thing too, because we have someone in our group right now. One thing that this company will do, they'll go back 3 years on your taxes to make sure it was done correctly. Because, we're all human, right? And interpreting, I don't know how many of you, I know Phyllis, you have read the IRS rulings and guidelines and that type of thing. It could give you a headache. But anyway, he's a colonel. He's a retired colonel. And they went back on his taxes and they had made a mistake and he got $9,000 back. I mean, this is a benefit of having a home-based business too, but a benefit of having this service so they can do that. Otherwise you'd have to pay an accountant or a CPA to go back and check your finances. Does anybody have any questions or anything about what I said? If you're interested, we are going to have a Zoom call on Friday at 6:30 p.m. and just call me or send me an email and I'll give you the Zoom link. And that might be good for anyone you want to invite. But I want to share this with you all too, because there's a couple of nonprofits that are dear to my heart, which Rotary is one of them. And there is a way for you to give money back, because with this program, it's not only about credit and helping yourself and finances and everything, but it's also about earning money, and it could be used as a part-time job, and that's what I'm using it for. There's 10 different ways that you can earn revenue. So what I plan on doing, and I have to check, the Rotary guidelines, but I know there's a couple other nonprofits I'm going to do this, and a church, is that you can set up your church or your nonprofit as one of your members, and then anybody that signs up under that nonprofit, the nonprofit gets the proceeds. So that might be a good way. And we do have preachers, ministers that have done that and that are making money that way. And then the other thing they do is sometimes they help the congregation. So maybe there's 1 or 2 people that really needs the help right now, or they have scholarships that they offer to them. You could sign up for the home-based business. We'll give it to you for a year. They get it for a year. Then after the year, if they decide, then they'll continue on with it. And then they hand it off to someone else. So there's all kinds of different ways that you can use the home-based business.
Gloria, the person I told you about earlier that couldn't attend, that person is needing a scholarship for Rotary next year because of the cost of the master's degree. So maybe you might want to contact her about that option.
Okay.
That would be good.
Then we could pay. Yeah.
The fact that the master's degree and the other students in that program might also need it.
Okay.
And so therefore they might need side work as a home business to pay for their degrees also.
Okay. That would be good. Yeah. Give me their information or send it to me.
You have it online on DACDB.
DACDB. Okay. And, and the name again?
Well, we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
You have it online.
Okay. All right.
Missy, do you have any questions? Yeah.
I have a question. Okay. As far as the credit rating is concerned, how long does it normally take? I mean, you say that y'all can do stuff pretty much instantaneously, but and I don't know what my score is. I mean, all I know is I've been having trouble like everybody else has during the lockdown, but I've tried to at least make the bills as they're due. But I'm just wondering, how much do they look at things like, for example, let's say I have a primary account that I use for computer stuff, and occasionally it runs into negatives just because I'm addicted to premium games. So how much will that kind of thing play into a credit score?
You know what, in your situation, for our company, you would just have to write a letter of explanation because your income is great. And, you know, you have a good recurring income, and it's just, you know, one of those things that you can just explain. So,
Okay.
yeah, on that. Now, I have heard, I haven't seen it yet, but I have heard that they were thinking of changing the credit scores to be reflected on your utilities and your bank accounts. Now, I haven't seen that yet. I don't know if anybody else on this call has. I've heard talk about it about a year ago, but I haven't seen anything come through.
Okay. I was just wondering. Thanks so much.
And you know what? When you say you didn't know what your credit score is, I mean, a lot of us didn't, like, especially when I signed up to be a program loan officer, you know, you took the tests and took the classes and everything. And somebody asked me, so what rate are you paying? And I didn't know. So, you know, it's interesting, like, you don't know until, you know, it impacts you. And then
Right.
you learn, okay, what can I do about this? Or do I need to take any action? Because some folks, they are sitting really pretty. And then other folks, you know, they do one or two little things. And that's the other thing about this program too, that it'll tell you, it gives you advice from the experts. Do this, do that, dispute this, whatever. Because there is a process that you have to follow. And I wanted to answer your question too about sometimes things are done immediately. And like in our example, our what if scenario, we have partnerships with all three of the credit agencies. So
Okay.
they know when we send them the proof, they'll do it right away. Otherwise, you'll send it to the credit agency and then they'll wait until it cycles again. And actually, I think they do wait to make sure that the, you know, that they agree, the lender, not the lender, but whoever has the debt or holding the debt, that they agree that, you know, that it should be taken away. It's a long process sometimes, and sometimes they don't even do it. So that's why there's laws out there that says if you don't respond in 30 days, it's going to be taken off, you know, so.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Yeah,
thanks.
thank you. Thank you.
Missy, all of my credit card companies you can just go on the app, or I can go on the app, and one of the bureaus will give me for free as soon as I go on the app, the free report.
Okay.
The number right then.
That's nice. Yeah,
There are
that's
3
true.
bureaus that you can go on right now. Like she said at the very beginning, she said annualcreditreport.com. Just
Right.
ask for the report and they will send you all of the information from all 3 credit bureaus. Then you can go to her and get the help.
Okay. That'll work. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much, Gloria, for sharing this very pertinent topic for everybody. I think all of us can, benefit from learning more about financial management and credit reporting, credit scores. It's a confusing system. I think a lot of us are still, not 100% clear how this information all gets processed behind the scenes and how it can affect our future outlook. So thank you so much for sharing your expertise about this with us today.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And think about this too. I'll leave you with this. I have a client that, she at one time she was making $800 a month, and I think that's gone up to over 1,000. That girl has $20,000 in the bank, 800 credit score. So you don't need to have a fabulous job, you just have to know how to save your money and spend your money. And that taught me a big lesson. I thought, whoa, she's an ideal person, except, the homes are going up. They're going up so high that she can't afford it, so, but anyway, that's a nice place for her to be.
Yeah.
But thank you for the
It's not what you
invite.
earn, it's what you save, right?
Right, I
And
know.
then some people with very high incomes, they don't necessarily
Yes.
manage their money well. So
Yes.
I think taking some good advice is is helpful,
Mhm.
no matter what your
Mhm.
income, right?
Right. Okay. Well, I thank you all.
Thank you too, Gloria.
Mhm.
Great. All the best. We'll see you at the next
Thanks,
meeting.
Gloria.
Okay. You're welcome. Thank you.
Great.
And we'll talk later, okay?
Sounds good. Thank you. Yeah.
Mhm.
Dr. O, do you want to stop the recording or should I
I'll stop it.
stop it? Okay.